Hey everybody, Preston Poulter here with Pocket Jacks Comics. Oh boy, oh boy, Little Bird issue 2. This is going to be interesting. So, I did a review on Little Bird issue 1, which is kind of trippy social justice porn. More the same. This one, alright, so at the end of issue 1, I'll put a link down in the description. Little Bird died. Sorry. But, it's comic books. Little Bird doesn't stay dead. And in issue 2, we find out that there was a genetic manipulation or something of some such, so the Axe, Paul Bunyan character, has regenerative properties. Alright? And that they had and look, the story is confusing. I still don't know if I'm following what's going on. And issue 2 is Little Bird's kind of death visions. So it's kind of vision questy. But even in a vision quest, I still am trying to piece together, like, okay, which character is this? Because we start off, and okay, so as far as I can tell, Little Bird, still don't know the gender on Little Bird. I've read these 2 issues multiple times. Maybe Little Bird's gender isn't important. But okay, so Little Bird's mom is Tonto, who is the one we see on the cover. And Little Bird meets Tonto in the afterlife, and Tonto's like, oh, hey, this is the afterlife. Here's all the different ways your life could have turned out. Check it out. Neat. And then, yeah, okay, so we get some backstory. We see that Tonto had some form of accident, I guess, and then got adopted by the bishop, who goes on to be the evil head of the Christian fascist North American Alliance of U.S. and Canada Society. And that Tonto is told, and this is where it gets kind of confusing, Tonto is told, like, okay, here, let me just read you this exact part, because again, the comic bounces around all over the place, and and it's already visiony. So he rescued me from a monster. Okay, so apparently, like, the Axe is portrayed by the Christians as, a bad person. But Tonto's looking around, and Tonto finds a clock next to a Canadian flag. And therefore, I don't know why. Comic doesn't tell you, but therefore goes, oh, I know what time it is. And then says, I'm going to go join the resistance. And kind of sets out, and then meets a woman and gets pregnant. That's the story, folks. I'm just laying it out there. Meets a woman and gets pregnant. But in the future, there are Christian patrols who come in and conduct this little impromptu inquisition and discover pregnant Tonto in the closet. I have a question. What's in this man's pants? What is going on in this man's pants? Right? Okay. And while we're at it, this comic is kind of dick obsessed, right? Like, later on, there's like this call between the Emperor and an underling, like we've seen before. But hey, wouldn't it be cool if, instead of force choking across a distance, if technology allowed you to just grab a man's testicles? Because that happens. That happens. Okay. Oh, God, like, spending so much time in this comic, it is so weird. So weird. Just weirdness for weird's sake. And you have to keep going over it to go, okay, what character is this? I thought for a while, like, the pregnant one was Little Bird, but then, okay, so then we got pregnant woman and woman she's staying with, and then they're like, oh, you've discovered a stab you through the head and hit this person with a frying pan, and then she goes out in the wild and gives birth, and then we see that the bishop has brought up a new child, and then earlier, it just tells us in New Vatican City earlier, the bishop brings up a new child, and this new child is made to execute Tonto. Okay, and then boom, here we are. But where is here, right? Okay, there's a little bird, there's Snowy Owl, there's some stuff going on, and then like look, I just told you everything I know coming up to this page, and I showed you these 2 pages here, right? What's going on? I'll ask you, the audience, what is going on in this page, right? Like, there are these kind of robot sentries, and they're identifying some people and IDing other people for execution, and then eventually we get here, and then we wake up, and then finally Axe is like, well, you were dead, but now you're back, and now we get kind of a semblance of a plot, I guess. So then we got the call between the bishop and the underling who gets his testicles grabbed, not to be missed. I can't even with this damn comic book, man. Alright, and then, and then finally we get to kind of Zion, which in this comic book is called Hope, which is where you can think freely, free from Christian oppression. Hooray. And that's issue 2. My God, so, alright, last night I was hanging out with a lady friend, and, I had my stack of comics because it was Comic Book Wednesday. She's like, oh, I used to read Archie, whatever. And I'm like, hey, you know what? Instead of watching TV, why don't I read you some comics? So she picked this one out, because it's visually appealing and, more appealing to women than like Daredevil or something. And she's got it's kind of a Native American mysticism kind of sympathy. So this is, a sympathetic argument. And it wasn't like I went over politically like how she should feel about it. I'm like, okay, cool, Little Bird, let's read through Little Bird. And at the end of that comic book, he was like, that sucked. I'm like, hard for me to argue with you. I don't know what market they're going after with this stuff. God, it's weird. It is so weird. So, if you want to dive headlong into some brain-bendy social justice porn, I got the book for you. It's right here. Native American good, Christian bad. There's gonna be some dicks. And some blood. Okay. I guess we're done with Little Bird issue 2. It has left me speechless. I don't know what else I can say here, man. Except I am going to launch the Kickstarter for White Lily issue 3 on May the 9th. There will be a link down in the description. Hope to see you then. Take care.